I thought buying a cabin by Serenity Haven's quiet shores would mean peace. Picture it. Sipping coffee on a weathered porch, the lake shimmering under dawn's glow, maybe a neighbor nodding hello. That's what I craved after my life unraveled. Instead, I got a front row seat to a takeover, orchestrated by a woman with a clipboard and a vendetta. She didn't just mess with my life, she sold my home right out from under me. New owners were measuring my steps before I even knew it was for sale. If that sounds impossible, buckle up. It gets wilder. Ever had your sanctuary turned into a listing online? What would you do? 2 summers ago, in June 2023, if you'd told me I'd be locked in a showdown with a neighborhood tyrant named Evelyn Harper, I'd have laughed into my mug. Back then, scandal was something that happened to other people. I was too busy piecing myself back together after a divorce that cut deeper than I let on. My ex, Laura, had a knack for slicing with words. "You're a good man, James," she said the day she left, her suitcase by the door. "But you never fight for anything. You're like a leaf in a storm." She said it in front of our therapist, Dr. Coleman, who just coughed awkwardly. I froze, let her walk out, and her words stuck. "You let people trample you." She wasn't wrong. I'd spent years dodging conflict, nodding when my old boss hiked my rent unfairly, always choosing peace over justice. That's why I fled to Serenity Haven, a small cabin in Willow Creek, a oregano-weathered retreat with chipped green trim and a creaky front door. Inside, it was mine, a sagging armchair by the window where I'd wept watching old sitcoms, a dented mug reading World's Okayest Guy that Laura had tossed into a box, a bookshelf of novels I swore I'd read. A faded photo of me and my dad fishing hung by the door, my grin too big for my face. That cabin smelled of cedar and second chances. The lake view was a daily promise. You can start over. The neighbors were kind at first, keeping their distance just right. Tom, a gruff widower next door, waved daily with his old spaniel trailing behind. Mrs. Kim shared her extra muffins after bake sales. We had a barbecue by the dock one evening, hot dogs, cold soda, and chatter about the Homeowners Association's quirks. Someone joked about the old president's obsession with hedge heights. I didn't think much of it. Then Evelyn Harper showed up. She moved into the modern house at the lane's end and took over the HOA unopposed. One morning, half asleep, I opened my door to find her measuring my lawn with a bright orange tape, her blazer crisp despite the heat. "Your grass is 3 inches over code," she said, not looking up. I chuckled, thinking it was a prank. "This isn't a putting green, lady." Her eyes met mine, cold and unblinking. "Rules are rules, Mr. Carter." She clicked her pen and walked off. That night, I saw her under a streetlight, measuring a neighbor's mailbox, alone, scribbling like it was a mission. It wasn't just strict, it felt unhinged. Evelyn's grip tightened fast. Cameras sprouted on her porch. Laminated rule lists appeared on the community board. Neighbors whispered but complied. I trimmed my lawn, painted my railing, bought approved mulch, anything to keep the peace. But one night, beer in hand, I watched her pace the street with a flashlight, pausing at Mrs. Kim's door, just staring. A chill ran through me. "This isn't right," I muttered. Laura's voice echoed. "You never stand up." I wanted to prove her wrong, but fear kept me quiet. Then, one humid Tuesday in July, my world shattered. Coffee steaming. I stepped onto my porch in flip-flops and a robe. Tom's voice cut through the calm. "James, get out here." I dropped my mug, coffee splattering, and ran. A red for sale sign stabbed my lawn, listing my cabin for $200,000. A couple, the Walkers, roamed my yard, snapping photos. "The porch needs replacing," the man said. I stammered. "What are you doing on my property?" They smiled like I was a tour guide. "We're the Walkers. Just paid the HOA deposit." My jaw dropped. "This isn't for sale." The man laughed, showing me a contract on his phone. "Evelyn said you're moving to Arizona for health reasons." They strolled inside, peering at my bookshelf. I chased them, shouting, "You can't just walk in." The woman shrugged. "HOA rules. Transitional access. Standard stuff." I called Evelyn, hands shaking. "Why are people in my house saying they bought it?" She sighed. "You broke too many rules, James." The board acted. I yelled, "You can't sell my home." She hung up. I sank onto the porch, the world spinning. Neighbors stared, Mrs. Kim with pity, others avoiding my eyes. One woman filmed me from her deck. I felt like a sideshow. That night, alone in the dark, my cabin felt alien. Laura's words burned. You never fight. But staring at that glowing for sale sign, something snapped. I wasn't that man anymore. I started digging. Knocking on doors got me nowhere. Neighbors shut me out, scared. But Tom opened up, admitting he'd faced $700 in fines for a non-compliant mailbox. I almost sold my place to escape, he said. He gave me Diego's address, a former neighbor. Diego's apartment reeked of damp carpet, boxes stacked high. He showed me a photo of his son, Mateo, grinning on their old porch. Evelyn fined us for a wrong fence color. We couldn't keep up. His voice broke. Mateo asks why we can't go home. Next, I visited Mrs. Lee, 78, in a tiny assisted living unit. She clutched a rocking chair her husband built. I planted roses, not tulips. Fines piled up. I had 30 days to leave. Her hands shook, holding a photo of her old garden. I'm too old for this. Mrs. Kim called me later, voice trembling. She fined me for my trash cans. My kids can't know we might lose our home. Don't stop, James. I didn't. I hatched a plan, fueled by years of biting my tongue. I created the Willow Creek Renewal Project, a fake development scheme. I designed logos, coined slogans like Tomorrow's Haven Today, and left voicemails as a fake developer. With Tom and Diego, we planted signs at night, marking lots for sale. Neighbors panicked, whispering about evictions. Evelyn unraveled, snapping at board members, her blinds snapping shut, then open. At the community meeting, she stood tall, denying rumors, flashing charts. But then Mike, a board member, stood. You used my signature for things I didn't approve. The room froze. Diego held up Mateo's drawing of their lost home. Mrs. Lee showed her wedding photo, voice cracking. I lost my garden for planting roses. I stood, heart pounding. I made the fake project to show what it's like to lose your home. Evelyn sold my cabin without consent. She thrives on our silence. Papers slipped from her hands, scattering. No one helped. Afterward, Evelyn became a ghost. Neighbors shunned her at stores. Notes mocked her mailbox. Police questioned me but cleared my name, probing her shady filings. A community group formed, rewriting HOA rules. But my plan had collateral damage. A dad, Lucas, lost a home deal due to the panic. Don't burn everyone's lives to make a point, he said. I apologized, gutted. Evelyn sent a letter. I built walls to keep pain out and trapped myself. I'm sorry. I kept it, unsure why. Maybe because she wasn't evil, just broken, like me once. By August, Serenity Haven breathed again. Kids drew chalk murals, wind chimes sang. Mrs. Lee's new roses bloomed. Diego built Mateo a treehouse. I rode to the lake center, dropped Evelyn's old yardstick, and watched it sink. No victory, just freedom. My cabin's mine again, not because I outsmarted her, but because I fought. Now, I keep a binder of evidence, not for anger, but to remember. Silence lets tyrants win. So what's your take? Could you forgive someone who tried to steal your home, if they were just chasing control? Was I wrong to scare a whole town to expose one woman? What would you have done, rolled over, or flipped the board? Drop a comment, share your story, hit that like button, or subscribe if this hit home. Let's keep the noise loud.